Alright, so having commented what the concepts of BIM, the benefits, the dimensions, the implementation, let's now comment a little bit of different types of examples related to the different dimensions of BIM. And first things first, when we work with BIM, we are not working anymore in just general models. This is about building the project in a virtual space in order to replicate once again all the different behaviors we got on the environment within a digital space. So we are modeling pretty much all the structures, the different connections, the different facilities. Everything has to be coordinated within the BIM model to its last detail, so we can use all the benefits we get included with a BIM project. And we can go into deep detail modeling, such as, for example, the reinforcement using plugins such as the Reinforcements, which is a nice plugin we got for ArchiCad. Revit also has many different functions already included in order to start working on the details of the details. So not just the main elements, but we also have the ability to go into further detailing if we are planning to use automatic quantification functions or maybe more detailed automatic documentation. This will depend always on the different objectives you got for your project. Now, if you are looking forward to optimize the topographical techniques you want for your project, you also have the ability to integrate not your traditional topographical surveys, which are just drafted in AutoCAD by the surveyor, but you can even so create a point cloud model of the site and later on import this point cloud model into ArchiCAD or Revit. It has all the available functions, so you can pretty much start modeling with a 3D model of the site, which is quite an amazing advantage that also BIM allows us. Now, besides the ability of use and work with photogrammetry, we can also always communicate the BIM model to the client with different types of techniques. We can also create analytical models that will highlight different parts of the BIM project, depending on whichever criteria you want to program. For example, you can program it to highlight all the map elements related to the electrical facility, or maybe highlight all the carpentry elements. You can even so divide the model into different parts to communicate or highlight the finishes, the fenestrations, the ceiling, or the drywall of the project, because the BIM model speaks for itself. It gives you a lot of functions to detect, to search for, to find and highlight different parts of the model. So you don't have to manually seek and try to find a specific element. Just use different functions that will filter out the BIM model following specific criteria. There are tools such as, for example, BIMX that will also allow us to integrate the 2D documentation with the 3D model. So it gives you a completely different way to present your projects by integrating the 2D and 3D dimensions once you review your project. And besides this ability, you also can start working with generative processes present within software such as Dynamo or maybe Grasshopper. If you are working with ArchiCAD, you can, for example, integrate Grasshopper, which is external to ArchiCAD. Grasshopper is present within Rhinoceros 3D, which is another software used for organic 3D modeling. Or if you just want to work with ArchiCAD, keep in mind that ArchiCAD also has another tool called Paramo, which will also allow you to generate visual programming within ArchiCAD, which is quite a nice addition. If you are working with Revit, you can always integrate Dynamo into Revit. But in general, generative design is a really complex topic that I usually cover in more detail in other advanced courses. It will allow us in one dimension to create a new type of extremely complex geometry or more specific geometry, and in the other dimension to optimize all types of basic process such as the distribution of your zones or maybe optimize the position of your windows according to specific types of criteria.